Good evening, and I would like to call the City Council meeting for October the 11th, 2017 to order. At this time, again, we're going to have a moment of silence as we traditionally do. And, you know, it's interesting. I'm going to make a little presentation in just a moment to Adam and Gail. And we have individuals who come here on a regular basis, and it's exciting to see some of the accomplishments they have. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. But the cross-section of folks in our community interested not only in city government, but interested in getting involved with so many different activities we have in our city. It's really a blessing for all of us. So with that, let's take a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Alderman Dickman, would you lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Alderman Dickman. Jackie, would you please call the roll?
Ambrose.
Here.
Mattson.
Here.
Dickman. Here. Grip.
Here.
Gordon. Meeker.
Here.
Rawson.
Here.
McGinnis.
Here.
Tompkins.
Here.
Dunn.
Here.
9 present, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. And I want to again wish you a good evening. And as we begin this meeting of our City Council, I want to welcome all those in attendance and those who are viewing the meeting on television or on the internet. We respectfully welcome your comments and opinions, and please keep in mind that as you talk to the Council, you're also sharing your thoughts with fellow Davenporters and with viewers throughout the region by way of our TV broadcast. We're happy that you're here and participating in your city government, and ask that your participation reflect our common desire that we all share to make Davenport an even greater place for all of our citizens. For the children, adults, seniors, and families in our community, those in attendance and those watching at home, I thank you for joining us. At this time, we ask that you turn off or silence your cell phones and other electronic handheld devices, as they can be disruptive and interfere with the audio system here in the chambers. If you wish to speak to the Council, and in this particular meeting, if you wish to speak to the Council, we would normally, in our committee of the whole, you would address the committee chair. And in this case, you'll have an opportunity to speak during the public with business part or during the discussion period, and I ask that you wait to be identified by myself and speak to the Council as a body and not to any single member. We will ask that you limit your remarks to no more than 5 minutes, and I know that you will all, and I will ask you again, to observe the commonly accepted rules of courtesy, decorum, dignity, and good taste. So with that, we'd like to begin our meeting, and thank you again all for being here. Will an alderman move the minutes of the council meeting of September 27th, please? Second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Great, thank you very much. We have a city administrator update this evening?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Will an alderman move the approval of the report of the Committee of the Whole of October 4th, 2017? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. That will move forward. We have no appointments and no proclamations, but we have one presentation this evening, and that is for the 2017-18 snow presentation. So Nicole Gleason, our Director of Public Works, will come up and give us that presentation.
I would love that. No snow.
That's right.
All right. Okay.
That shows the absence of snow, and we appreciate
There you go.
it.
That's okay. I have it here too, but it's similar to what we presented last year. We really don't have any changes from what we had planned to do last year, although last year we didn't get to do much of it because there wasn't a lot of snow. Our 3 salt barns are all full right now, so we have plenty of salt on hand if it is needed. Just wanted to talk through a few of the points. We had changed our plow zones last year to be a little bit more defined areas, and I can send those out to all of you so that you can see what those zones look like. But the major thing is we'll have 1 large plow and 1 to 2 small plows in each of those zones at any given time during a snowstorm and following the storm until the roads are cleared adequately. So if we have enough advanced warning of a snow event and that we're not expecting rain, we will apply the salt brine ahead of the event so that it will delay the amount of time it takes the snow to stick. And if it's a light enough event, it may even prevent us from having to plow at all. So that's helpful. If we don't have enough time or it's going to rain, we can't apply the brine, and in that case we would get out right away once the snow was starting to fall and we expected any amount of accumulation to happen. So, and I just kind of explained that. One thing we do get a lot of questions about is if and when we do the downtown pickup of the snow. So that is after an event is completely done. If it was 4 inches or more, we plow through the event as we normally would. We plow downtown, we plow the hilltop as we normally would. But once all the residentials are done, if there wasn't enough accumulation of snow, we will go down and actually remove the snow piles from the downtown area. And again, that is after 4 inches of snow or more in a single event, or if we have several small events that accumulate and basically make it really difficult to navigate downtown or the hilltop. So that's when that happens, and we will give a second snow emergency in that event and ask people to be off the parking their cars on the road downtown in the hilltop if that does happen. Fortunately, we didn't have to do that last year. We just had to do some pickup of piles one time last year. So we try to avoid it if possible and cause as least disruption. But as you can see with our vibrant downtown, it is becoming more challenging for us to pick up that snow because there's more cars there. There's a lot more residents. The ramps are getting full. So we are definitely going to have more challenges with that as we have big events. So this is kind of just a graphic of showing where we store the snow, and then we come back later and pick it up from that area. And just a reminder, the biggest thing that's helpful for us is not parking on the street if a snow emergency is declared. There's no real set rule on when we declare a snow emergency. It's primarily if we know we're going to either have enough accumulation or it's going to be ice, making it difficult for the plows to get down the road. So there's a visual. We also have a video on our website that shows a plow driver trying to plow a very crowded road. And we don't want to damage cars. We don't want to damage our plows. So really it's helpful if people can get their cars off the street when we know there's going to be an accumulation, and people can sign up for text alerts, email alerts to know when those snow emergencies are declared. And as a reminder, the snow off your the driveway and the sidewalks, it's critically important, especially if you're in a school zone or near bus route areas, but everyone really should make an attempt to clear their driveway snow within 24 hours after the snow stops. And sometimes it's even easier if you get out and do it a couple times if there's a large accumulation expected. And this is just a reminder of what you can sign up for to get information. If you're not sure, you can always call Public Works, and we're happy to help people walk through the process of how they sign up for these alerts as well. So that's really it. We're hoping there won't be much of it, but we have plenty of salt. So any questions? All right.
Alderman Tompkins.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. And I know we didn't have a lot of snow last year, but I did receive several comments from people that the snow that we did have, that they noticed an improvement. So thank you so much for the changes that were made. The other piece that I just wanted to share is, I don't know about anybody else, but I get it at least a couple times a year asking about whether or not we can plow the end of the driveway. And to clarify, we do not do that. If we did that for everybody within the city, that would be an extreme amount of manpower, and I don't think we want to pay for that. So I know it's frustrating. We do the same thing, but once the plow comes through, you need to get out there and reshovel it. So thank you.
Alderman Ambrose.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, Nicole, Public Works gets better every year, and I really appreciate it. And I think the great thing about our snow removal and Public Works is, after they make the initial big push, when there's issues and the neighbors call Public Works, they're outstanding when it comes. They'll come back out and correct some of the issues and help out if they miss something, or like some of these narrow streets. So, I think the customer service gets better every year, and I really appreciate it. I know everybody that I talk to appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Alderman Ambrose. Alderman Dickman.
Just wanted to remind our folks in the audience and friends at home that if they feel that their road has been missed unintentionally or not, that they can call Public Works or call their alderman to make sure that their road gets cleared.
Thank you, Alderman. And thank you, Alderman Ambrose. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, wow, there you go. No other comments? Thank you, Nicole, very much for your presentation.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Are there any petitions and communications from any council members this evening? Alderman Dawson. Alderman Rawson, I'm sorry.
Dawson this evening. Thank you.
That's fine.
It's only been 2 years, Mayor. Okay. I just want to do another reminder. We have our very last neighborhood roundtable. This is the last one of the year, the 6th one. 6 out of 6 will be happening October 21st, so not this upcoming Saturday, but the next, from 9:15 to 11:15 down at Main Library. And CPED, Community Planning and Economic Development, with Bruce Berger and Matt Flynn. They will be covering lots of exciting topics like future land use, future development, and neighborhoods. So if you've ever had questions about that and zoning, show up at Main Library on the 21st. I also did want to mention that Habitat for Humanity is having their annual fundraiser, Mr. and Ms. Habitat, also on the same day on October 21st, starting at 5:30, with the competition beginning at 7 at the Rogowski Center at Ambrose University. Tickets are for sale currently on Facebook for the annual event. It usually draws a big crowd. I will be one of the 6 contestants, so if you want to come watch one of your older people make a fool of themselves on stage, I will be there doing that for a good cause. So Mr. and Ms. Habitat will be October 21st at the Rogowski Center at 5:30. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Alderman Rawson. Alderman Ambrose.
Thank you, Your Honor. Had a great ward meeting last night, and I want to thank Lieutenant Small. He did a great job talking to the people about crime and neighborhood safety, and I can't thank him enough. And the great Clay Merritt was there, too, for Public Works. Did an outstanding job talking about the projects this year and wrapping them up and some of the challenges and, get ready for next year. So can you get that message to Clay? I don't know if he's here tonight. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Alderman McGinnis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just want to let everybody know that the Third Ward meeting is tomorrow night, October 12th. It is at the Freight House. It's the second floor on the east end of the Freight House. Starts at 6:30. There is an elevator through the food hub for those who need it. Parks and Rec Director Scott Hoke will be there to talk about upcoming events in the Davenport's park system, and we'll have updates of city business and questions and concerns and comments from residents there. So please join us tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman McGinnis. A couple quick things. Alderman Ambrose mentioned Lieutenant Smalls at the ward meeting last night. We also had I spoke at a NETS meeting last night, and Lieutenant Small was there too. So he was a busy guy last night, and I want to thank him. We did a great job at both of those locations. We did a presentation on the riverfront. Alderman McGinnis was there as well. So I think we had a good session, and thanks Lieutenant Smalls for his involvement. Another quick thing, we've had people still have concerns about the parking garages and whatever. I drove in there myself today, drove around and looked at it. There's a lot of signs, but I think it's important for everybody to understand you pay before you go to the event. It's very clearly signed when you go into the garage, prepay for parking. But I think a lot of people still are getting into that mode of what does that mean and how do they do that. And there are a lot of kiosks throughout the parking structure, and the staff is really ready to help. So, again, it's another one of those changing, more beneficial, great new program. But it's a matter of we got to make sure we get people communicated how that works, and they're trying hard to do that with the city staff. Also, I want to note next couple of days, last day, yesterday and today and tomorrow, I think, is the 85th annual Iowa State Police Association meeting here. And we had a chance Chief Skorsky and I got to welcome that group yesterday morning. It's great to see those tremendous officers from around the state coming together to get their not only training and education, but fellowship. And it was great to have them, and it is great to have them in our community. Lastly, my quick thing is, I mentioned earlier when we started the moment of silence, and Adam McWilliams and Gail come on a pretty regular basis, and they hear about their accomplishments and how hard they work representing our city. I want to take a minute if you want to come on up. They actually were award winners at the Regional Special Olympics Bowling Tournament, so if they'll come up, I want to present their ribbons to them. So first of all, Adam and Gail, there you go. Congratulations. Again, you did a great job not only in your performances, but also representing all of us in the city of Davenport. Let's look over here and get a picture with everybody. Give them a nice round of applause. Okay, moving on. We have two items on the discussion agenda for this evening. First, number one is a first consideration ordinance amending Schedule 6 of Chapter 10.96 entitled Speed Limits by adding Gain Street from Locust Street to 5th Street as a 30-mile-per-hour street. And that, are there any public with comments related to that?
Yes, my name is Joseph Charlton. I live in Fourth Ward. I'm tired of this 30 mile per hour. One like rained yesterday. What about somebody come down and try and make a fast stop at the stop sign? It should be 25 instead of 30, and we're distant. So
I think clarification, we're at 35 and we're going down to 30.
it should go down to 25. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, will an alderman move the ordinance? Any discussion from any alderman? Seeing none, will the clerk call the roll, please? I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. There's comments. I'm sorry. Alderman Dickman.
I just wanted to thank Nicole with Public Works. She sent out some clarifications of additional steps we can take just related to parking near there and other hopefully additions that will make the area and the intersection safer. So thank you for that, and that we'll also reconsider this after we've had a chance to get some data on how the 30 does. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman McGinnis.
Thank you. Yes, I was wondering if Nicole could come up and just recap that a little bit, because it is good information and it might be useful for others to hear it. Thank you.
So disclaimer, I am not the traffic engineer, but I will relay. So basically, one of the things that's required by the state when we're changing speed limits with DOT is that they want to look at what the natural speed people would actually go on that road and be within the 85th percentile. So in this case, really, we could only get to 30 without it being perceived as we were trying to catch people speeding. So we are feeling that moving it to 30 will let people kind of adjust to that, and then we'll capture new data in 6 to 12 months and see if we can, if their behavior's changed enough, we'd be able to make a second move down to 25 at that point. And in the meantime, we are reviewing the area around all the stop signs to see if a couple of strategic no parking areas would help with sight distance. And we are going to do a suggested of 25 down the hill, signed in yellow as opposed to white. So those are some of the additional things we are going to do in conjunction with doing this initial move to 30. So thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Are there any other questions? Seeing none. Jackie, will you call the roll?
Meeker,
Yes.
Rawson,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Dickman,
Yes.
Grip,
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. This ordinance will move to the second consideration. Second item is we have a resolution granting a license to encroach pursuant to Chapter 12.36, 5 inches into the east-west alley between Christie and Mound and 11th and 12th Street, and for the patio poured 8 feet into the Mound Street right-of-way for the purpose of constructing a patio service area with Christopher Schneider, property owner of 1117 Mound Street. Staff is neutral on allowing what is currently poured and remain opposed to pouring additional concrete. Is there any public with comments?
Move the resolution.
Got somebody else coming up, sorry.
This is just a project that I'm working on. I'm
You need to identify yourself.
sorry,
Has to be-
my first time.
Yeah.
Bill Sheeter. I'm the occupant and the responsible party for this, and I didn't get to really discuss it at the discussion. Just wanted to inform everybody that, you know, there already has been a project in the past that has encroached on the right-of-way on that same path. I think what we're doing is it's going to really, really make the area a lot nicer, and very beneficial to not only the business but the public that we've kind of been bringing into the village. So, is there any questions from me? Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Move the resolution.
I'm sorry, you move that, and then we'll have, any of the aldermen have a comment? Okay. You have to move it first and then do the comment. That's been moved and seconded. Now, Alderman Rawson.
Thank you. I was curious. I actually drove down. Nicole, I don't know if you know the answer to this right now, but I drove down and looked at it yesterday, and visually it looked like it had, because I know originally it was going to go further out into the alley. Has that already been taken back? Because it visually looked like there was plenty of space there now. What's this?
So from my last visit, there had been a portion that was poured and then an additional portion framed, and we asked that they didn't pour anymore, and I believe that framing was taken down. So what you see now is what we're requesting the license agreement on.
Okay, because that looked very pleasing to
Yep.
the eye and
Yep.
lots of space in the alley.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Mattson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to reiterate this is a concern because we're going way into the right-of-way and the precedents that we're setting, so I'm very concerned about that. And then, Mr. Warner, I know I asked and others are concerned. There was proposed legal documents and different things that we're going to put together. Are those signed and squared away before we vote?
They are not signed. They're signed by me. I need the other party to sign them. I've instructed Public Works not to let them pour in the Mount Street right away until I get signed agreements by them. And Mr. Sheeter's here tonight, so I can get his signature tonight. We'll have to follow up with the property owner and get his.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Ambrose.
Thank you, Honor. First off, I want Mr. Sheeter to know he's got a great project, and the city is very supportive of it. And it's unfortunate this ended up the way it is, and hopefully it never happens again. But yeah, I think you got a great project, and we're looking forward to great success. Good luck.
Thank you. Alderman Meeker.
Thank you, Your Honor. I too want to endorse the project. We had a resolution a couple weeks ago supporting small business in Davenport, and we feel it's very important to have it, particularly in the East Village as well. You've got a good project there. You've got a commitment from the owner of the property that if is there any damage or need of replacement, they would do that at their expense. So our liability is pretty nil, and we appreciate that. Thank you for the investment in Davenport.
Thank you. Alderman Meeker. Alderman Dunn.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm just curious, how did we get 8 foot into the right-of-way without a permit? I understand, 5-6 inches, but 8 foot is 8 foot's 8 foot.
So this is, again, my understanding. I believe that there was a misunderstanding of where the actual property and right-of-way were in that area, and it had been formed and poured. And there was a misunderstanding that a DRB approval constituted a permit when it did not. So that there was a little bit of confusion there, and the admin team right now is working on redoing how we, as opposed to going to DRB first, we'll be looking at having an engineering review first to take that confusion out of that process and going forward. So, yep.
Thank you again, Nicole. See no other comments from Alderman. Will the clerk, please? Jackie, would you call the roll?
Rawson,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Dunn,
No.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Mattson,
No.
Dickman,
Yes.
Grip,
Yes.
and Meeker.
Yes.
Let's see, 7 yeses, Your Honor, 2 nays.
Thank you very much. That resolution is adopted. Is there a motion for approval of all items on the consent agenda? It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Dickman,
Yes.
Grip,
Yes.
Meeker,
Yes.
Rawson.
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Are there any other ordinances, resolutions, or motions this evening? Seeing none, is there any public with business this evening?
Good evening. My name is Dale Gilmore. I live in the 6th Ward. Well, yesterday didn't go as planned. I'd like to congratulate both Richard Clewell and Sean Liddell, who is sitting right back there, on their victories. Am I mad? No. I'm disappointed. I take full responsibility for my loss. If my attendance is intermittent in the next few weeks, it's because I put off doing some things that I really need to get done before winter. So, but don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. So, thank you, and good luck to you, Sean, and good luck to Rich.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello. My name's Tess Farmer, and I live in the 4th Ward. And it was brought to my attention that my demographic doesn't have a lot of representation at these meetings. So I just wanted to come down and voice a few of my opinions and concerns about my neighborhood. I've lived at my current residence. I live right off on 13th and Scott. I've lived there for about 11 and a half years now. We own the home. We've done quite a bit of improvement. And while we have seen some improvement in the neighborhood and safety, we felt really good. We thought, oh, it's been a really quiet summer. And then recently we've had quite a few shots fired calls. We actually had a murder a few weeks back. And I was just wondering, is there a plan in place? And I do apologize, we missed the meeting yesterday apparently to discuss the crime and that sort of thing. But is there a plan in place? Is there anything that's incentivizing people to move into these areas that I'm not aware of? Because currently it's not looking promising for where I live.
Well, a little bit of process. This is where we listen to you.
Okay.
We don't, as that discussion, but obviously a couple things. The chief is here.
Okay.
If you want to speak to him right after the meeting, that's one. And we have a number of other our community planning and economic development people, representatives. You might want to talk to our city administrator or staff right after and then give you some directions of how to address those issues.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.